Week 14, everyone. God damn, this season's going by fast. Welcome to another episode of the Breaking the Interim Podcast. I'm Ed. That's Brandon. Brandon, how we doing today, sir?
This is a bye week after last week's game. We need some time to recoup in Baltimore. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I can definitely feel your energy with that because the Commanders are on a bye too. Definitely
Yep.
need it. But yeah, let's get into this opening drive, shall we? Safety Micah Hyde is headed back to the Bills. The veteran defensive back was assigned to the practice squad. Giants quarterback Drew Lock is expected to start his second straight game on Sunday. Good luck to the Giants wide receivers dealing with him. The Broncos have decided to waive wide receiver Josh Reynolds. Dallas will finish the season without guard Zach Martin as he will undergo surgery on his right ankle. Texans linebacker Aziz Al-Shair will have a 3-game suspension upheld by the NFL. Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence won't play again this year after having surgery on his left shoulder. The Ravens have suspended wide receiver Deontay Johnson for 1 game after he refused to enter last Sunday's contest against the Eagles. Bill Belichick has interviewed with University of North Carolina for their vacant head coaching position, and Randy Moss is stepping away from ESPN's Sunday NFL Countdown to take care of his health. Before we get going into some of these games, definitely surprised by the Bill Belichick being interviewed by UNC. I thought he would try to get back to the NFL, make sure he get that all-time winning record. So that's kind of shocking. Also, the Ravens suspending Deontay Johnson. We were texting about that. I was telling you, I forgot he was on the damn team recently just because I didn't even remember him making any plays in the Eagles game. Now I see that he refused to enter the game last week. That's kind of crazy. I remember I was telling you, I hope he gets his head straight because they definitely could use him in the playoffs going forward. I thought he'd be a great addition for you guys, but so far it hasn't turned out the way things will change. But that was definitely shocking when I first learned about that. And prayers up to Randy Moss too. Hopefully he can get healthy and just live the rest of his life.
Yeah, best of luck to Randy Moss off the top for sure. Great guy, great player. I was telling my sister a few minutes ago, we always think of these athletes, we remember them for what they've played for and the plays they used to make. Of course, he's a Hall of Fame wide receiver. Um, so when we see him get sick like this, it kind of doesn't make sense. It kind of doesn't feel right in a sense. But yeah, definitely hope he gets well fast. Bill Belichick going to North Carolina to interview. It kind of just seems like it might be him just refreshing his interview skills in a sense. I don't see him going to the college ranks. Um, I think he'll get a job back in the NFL before he would transition to NFL. I mean, to college, and I'm not sure how the college players would even react to someone. He's probably 73 by now. I knew he was 72 when he parted ways with New England. How they would react to someone with that much of an age gap in between them, and then with Deontay Johnson and the Ravens. Yeah, I was telling you that it seemed like CBS cut to a sideline view one time. I think Harbaugh was standing in the front and he was right behind, and something just seemed odd because I saw him standing there, and um, we knew Bateman had gone down, and then next thing you know, at the end of the game in the post game presser, I always get alerts from different sources with the Ravens. They said they had asked Harbaugh about Deontay Johnson, and he was like, "It's kind of like a complex situation. I'll comment on it as time goes on." And then next thing you know, the suspension came down. Come find out, like you said, he refused to enter the game. So it's kind of interesting to see how this is going to pan out. I think I told you that if we release him, we won't get a compensatory pick, which we value those very well. So I think they will hold on to him even if he's inactive. That's one way to go about it. I mean, if he's inactive and not even on the field, it's less of a distraction if they figure out after the bye week and the week that he's off that he's still a cancer or anything like that. But like you said, hopefully he gets his mind right. We would need him for a playoff run if we make the playoffs, especially against someone like Kansas City. Is you got to have the more the merrier against them, but only had 5 or 6 targets in these games that he's been with us. To me, it was kind of surprising. I'll close it out here that we even signed him because at that point we needed a corner more than we needed a wide receiver. We still had 3 decent wide receivers, so to think that we signed him, we'll see how it pans out. But I'm not too confident at this point. All right, everyone, let's switch gears to the Thursday night football game. It was the Packers and the Lions there in the NFC North. Of course, the Lions are leading their division, only one loss on the season, and the Packers came in, I think, with three losses, but they were still in third place in the NFC North, came down to the wire. Um, Ed, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, man. I thought this game was very interesting. I thought going into this game, I thought the Packers was going to win this one. So little surprised that the Lions won, but I guess I shouldn't be. I mean, they've been the number one team in their division all year. Jared Goff, hats off to him, man, doing his thing. I've been like not sold on him, but he keeps playing well. I mean, they keep winning games for the most part. His quarterback rating, let me look it up. I know it's well over the hundreds, 109.7. He did have one turnover. He threw interceptions, but I mean, look at his numbers. He threw the ball 41 times, man. 283 yards, three touchdowns, and then again, Montgomery scored a touchdown running the ball. Jameer Gibbs scored a touchdown in the backfield, catching the ball too. They as long as those guys stay healthy, I give them a hell of a chance to win this division, the conference, and even get into the Super Bowl. Jared Goff, he's playing well, so will he be the favorite for me as if they make it to the Super Bowl? Time will tell, but he's definitely getting some more, esteem. Guess I got more positive vibes with Jared Goff as well. So we'll see how that goes. The Packers, though, man, I definitely thought they needed this game. This kind of felt like a playoff game for me, the way it was going down. Like I said, the fourth down conversions for the Lions, they had 5 overall. I think they converted on 4 of them. They had that big one late in the game, and it led to the kicker kicking that game-winning field goal for them. But, man, Josh Jacobs had a hell of a game. Not a lot of yards, 66 yards, but he had 3 touchdowns. Christian Watson, man, I got him on my fantasy team. I just cannot get it right with this dude, man. Every time I put him on the bench, he loves to go off 114 yards a day. Did very well in fantasy football for a lot of people, but I have him on the bench. I put him in the starting lineup, and he probably won't even get the damn ball. So it's very frustrating being a Christian Watson owner in fantasy football. But hopefully, I need to look at the standings. I don't know how well the playoff situation is for the NFC. Okay, well, it looks like Green Bay's still in the wild card slot, so I guess they'll be all right. But they definitely should make sure they can win the rest of their games out. Yeah, there's Minnesota, Green Bay, and Washington, the wild card slots. But yeah, definitely a good game for sure, though. What were your thoughts on this game?
As a game like this, over 100 yards and a touchdown, bunch of receptions. And as far as the NFC playoff picture goes, yeah, y'all are the only competition to them because I don't think they'll be able to catch Minnesota. So it'll probably be a battle between you all for the 6 and 7 spot there in NFC. But to this game, though, 35 yards for Jake Bates as the clock expired. Just for before that, the big fourth down and inches conversion keep the clock rolling. I'm just glad somebody's kicker can make some kicks, clutch kicks this year because mine certainly isn't. But sticking to this game, if y'all haven't noticed, the Lions have the Packers number. It's been quite some time since the Packers have beaten the Lions overall. The difference in this matchup, time of possession, and you mentioned it, 4 for 5 on fourth down. The success there on fourth down conversions when you're gutsy enough to keep going for it on fourth down. It almost seems like you're just saying, okay, we own y'all. We're going to continue to dominate y'all, and this is how we're going to do it. But yeah, I hope the Lions can go all the way. I really like them. I'm not too sold on the quarterback, like you said, not 100% sold on him. He does make mistakes here and there, but he is also very efficient this year as well. I think he has one of the highest touchdown to interception ratios in the league. But it was the first time since the 1990s since the Detroit Lions have clinched back-to-back playoff berths. So good there for the Motor City and their fans. They've been needing this. The success that the Lions have had, they've been needing this for years after the turmoil they've been going through for several years. All right. NFC playoff positioning will be on the line Sunday afternoon when the Falcons travel to Minnesota for a battle with the Minnesota Vikings. Seems like whenever Minnesota has a winning record, they're a quiet team. in the National Football League, and it's the same this year. They're 10-2. Uh, Early on, probably the first 5 6 weeks, we were talking about their defense left and right. I always talked about how good Brian Flores, the job he was doing there on that side of the ball. I think, speaking to him, he'll try to make it a long day for Kirk Cousins in his return there to US Bank Stadium. He's thrown 4 interceptions last week. I remember you said not one, not two, not three, but 4 interceptions he had. I think it was against the Chargers or somebody out
Yeah, true.
west. And the Vikings, they rank fifth in points surrendered, and they have one of the best run defenses in the NFL. I don't think Bijan Robinson will get more than 60, 70 yards on the ground. So I think they will have to rely on Kirk Cousins. So the question is, will he not make a mistake? Will he be able to put last week's game in the past and move forward? Minnesota, they got to put the ball in the hands of the playmakers for sure. Aaron Jones, Justin Jefferson. Aaron Jones, he hasn't gotten much in the end zone. He hasn't scored much. I think he has 3 touchdowns, but it could change, I think, against the Falcons defense. 5 straight wins for the Vikings there at home. Nothing fancy. The last time they had a 5 game winning streak was the first 5 games of the season, and then they dropped 2 in a row. I really like the Vikings, though, in this one. But if they keep it close and they don't put the pedal down to the metal and let Atlanta stick around, Atlanta could steal this game there on the road. What are your thoughts on this one?
Man, I don't know what to think of the Falcons. They've lost their last 3 games. The last time they played the Chargers, their defense really stepped up, in my opinion. But like you said, as I mentioned last week, Kirk Cousins was abysmal with the 4 interceptions. I think they need to feature the running game heavy, early, and often. Not just Bijan Robinson, but Tyler Algier. Get him in the mix. Both of those guys need to have 10 plus carries. Hopefully, Kyle Pitts can get the damn ball. I mean, I've been ranting and raving about him all year. No catches last week. He had 2 targets. Can we throw him the damn ball? I know Drake London's a great wide receiver. I know Darnell Mooney is a great wide receiver. Can we get Kyle Pitts the ball? For the love of God, Kirk Cousins, Raheem. I mean, Jesus Christ. But yeah, I'm with you on this. I think the Vikings win this one. They won their last 5 games. Sam Darnold definitely extended his career. He might not be with the Vikings next year, but somebody will definitely pick him up. Justin Jefferson. I think the Falcons defense, even though they played well last week, I think they're going to have their hands full with Justin Jefferson and my guy Jordan Addison as
Yep.
well. Aaron Jones has kind of been like a little sloppy the last couple of weeks. I think he's fumbled the last couple of games, so need to make sure he's doing good in that aspect. But as long as they don't turn the ball over, as long as Sam Darnold continues to play the way he does, I think Kirk Cousins before his Achilles injury, he can move a little bit. He was a little bit mobile, but after this Achilles injury, he's kind of been like a statue in the pocket. He can't really run like he used to. I think they're going to pressure him a lot. I think they're going to get after him. Might see like a 5+ sack game against Kirk Cousins if he can't get out the way or get rid of the ball fast enough. So I think the Vikings should win this one. I think the Falcons are going to be in a tailspin. I won't be surprised if the Falcons get stomped out and Michael Penix comes in the game late just as relief, just to have Kirk Cousins out of the game. And I wouldn't be surprised if the next couple of weeks if Michael Penix gets the starts and they try to decide what they're going to do with Kirk Cousins, even though they paid him all that money. But yeah, I like the I like the Vikings to win this one for sure. Now let's move over to the AFC West. Chargers second in the AFC West going against the Chiefs, who are number 1 in that division. This is a tough one for me, man. Chargers, you know, they won that game by the skin of their teeth against the Falcons. Justin Herbert did not look great against the Falcons. He's going up against a tougher defense against the Chiefs. But the Chiefs, even though they have 11 wins, a lot of close wins, a lot of close games, a lot of controversy, conspiracy going on. The fans, a lot of people think, the NFL's on their side, refs are on their side. I don't know. I want to lean towards the Chargers in this one. Vegas got the Chiefs favored by 4 at home, but I really want to lean towards the Chargers in this one. I know the Chiefs beat them the first go around. I think the Chargers, kind of starting to hit that stride, especially on the defense side of the ball. I don't think there's any injuries with Joey Bosa. I think he'll be up. Now, Lad McConkey, he is questionable with a knee injury, so we'll be interested to see if he plays, and if he doesn't play, who will step up. Quentin Johnson had a terrible game. I think it was 2 weeks ago. He was dropping balls all over the field. So I want to see if he can rebound from that. I got him in my fantasy team too. He's been on the bench lately, but I hope he does well too. But I really want to lean towards the Chargers in this one, but the Chiefs, like I said, been saying throughout this year, they're kind of like the Patriots of old now. They just find ways to win games. It might be fluky. It might be like, damn, that's some bullshit. Refs saved them on that one, but they keep finding ways to win games. So I guess I got to go with the Chiefs, but my heart is telling me to pick the Chargers, but I'm gonna go with the Chiefs in this one. I think Kelsey historically does well against the Chargers. They got another game with Isaiah Pacheco back in the backfield, so I think they're gonna use him early and often just to get his feet more wet as they prepare to go into the postseason. And as long as Mahomes doesn't turn the ball over, the Chiefs should win this one. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers do it. But how do you feel about this game, man?
In Kansas City, the Chiefs are already undefeated at home. I got to give the edge to the Chiefs, unfortunately. But the Chargers are a better team now, in my opinion, than they were in Week 4 when these two teams met. Kansas City, they had 2 turnovers in that one. The time possession was about the same, but Kansas City still pulled out the win. I think the Chargers need to put an emphasis a little bit more on throwing the ball in this one. You mentioned the fact that Lad McConkey may not be there, but the Chiefs' run defense is pretty damn good. So I think if they're going to be able to get anything out of the get anything going, get any scores, get out ahead, it's going to be through the air, in my opinion. I think they also need a defensive score and probably a big player or two on special teams, honestly, because when you're playing the Chiefs, every little bit count, every play counts, every aspect of the game, all that you got to be, despite the fact that they're playing close games, like you mentioned, you got to be damn near perfect to beat them. But yeah, I think because of the reasons I mentioned off the top, I see Kansas City improving to 12-1 before Monday morning. Um, they're close to the Chiefs, but they're not exactly there on as far as winning games altogether and beating them. I guess I could say. All right, everyone, let's take a moment to talk about our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Premium, a CBD and wellness company. Check out their full line of CBD infused products, which make great stocking stuffers for the upcoming holiday season. Perfect for athletes, weekend warriors, soccer moms, and even armchair quarterbacks. They have CBD infused honey, which is a personal favorite, as well as tinctures and mint in regular flavor. Most importantly, they are veteran and women owned, so come get some of this sweet temptation and taste the premium difference. Use code B&E for 15% off your order. Their website is www.premium.com. That's PREHEMIUM.com. Again, PREHEMIUM.com. Now back to our show.
All right, everyone. We're going to talk about the Bills going on to the West Coast to take on the Rams. Honestly, I feel like it's a trap game. I think the Rams have a good chance in this one. Even though the Bills are on a roll, they're favored by 3.5. Matthew Stafford, I'm always give him a shot. They got Cooper Kupp. They got Puka Nacua. I like Kyron Williams a lot. So I want to give the Rams a chance. But, the Bills, they're getting their boy Matt Milano back. I know you like him a lot. He played last week.
Yeah.
So another week of him back there on the defensive side of the ball should be really good for them. James Cook, Khalil Shakir has been doing great things. And Josh Allen's kind of on his MVP run, 20 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions. That's pretty good as well. Dalton Kincaid, he missed the last game. He could possibly come back. I know he's dealing with a knee injury, so definitely got to see if he plays or how that'll look if he does play. But I really want to lean towards the Rams, man. It's a kind of feeling I got like the Chargers and the Chiefs. I really like the Rams in this one. I like Matthew Stafford a lot. Now, can that offensive line hold up? Because the Bills' defense definitely lately has been really good at getting after the quarterback, and they can jump out on teams, man. Points scored per game, 29.6. That's second in the league. And then their defense, points against per game, is 18.7. That's sixth in the league. Meanwhile, the Rams are 20th in points scored and 21st in points against. So they're kind of like borderline middle of the pack, even on the lower side. But it's something something about the Rams right now that I'm leaning towards the Rams a little bit. I guess it's more of a heart decision, gut decision. Even though the Bills have won their last five, and the Rams are coming off a win against the Saints. Before that, they lost to Philadelphia, where they kind of got handled. Definitely Saquon Barkley ran all over them like he was on a treadmill. I just like the Rams in this one. But even though I like the Rams, I'm going to be smart with it and say the Bills are going to win this. But again, I won't be surprised if the Rams win this one. What are your thoughts on this game, though, man?
So teams all season long, especially teams winning records. The latest came against Philadelphia. You mentioned a couple weeks ago that was 37-20. Now you bring in probably the best team in the AFC, the Buffalo Bills. They're the SoFi. I think it might be a long day for the Rams. They're banged up on both sides of the ball. They had more defenders on the injury list earlier this week. I don't see as many now, but still. You mentioned the playmakers, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nakua, Kyron Williams. I think they'll need to step up and have a big game. Defensive line needs to step up as well and contain Josh Allen, because when he gets out of the pocket on the run, he can make any type of throw. He can make any type of throw already in the pocket, but him on the run, man, he'll hit it for 40, 50 yards down the field like it's nothing. He did one against us, and I'm like, you're damn near out of bounds, and he got it for a completion and made it look like it was nothing. But honestly, don't feel like the Rams have enough to go toe to toe with Buffalo. I like their offense and all, but Allen and boys, you mentioned second in the league in points per game. That's just under 30 points per game there. And then all of a sudden they got James Cook doing his thing too. So that's a whole nother element to this Buffalo offense that they didn't have before. So many years we was like, man, what can Buffalo do if they get a running back? They need a run game besides Josh Allen getting out on those quarterback runs or those design runs. And now they got him doing his thing out there. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bills in this one. I think they'll continue to keep the ball running, ball rolling. Uh, I got the Bills by at least 8 points in this one.
Gotcha.
All right, let's talk about the Walter Payton Man of the Year nominees. I'm gonna read the AFC list of contenders, nominees, and Ed will read the NFC afterwards. So let's start with the Baltimore Ravens. Roquan Swift, our linebacker. With the Bills, Deion Dawkins, a big defensive tackle. Cincinnati Bengals, Orlando Brown Jr., Super Bowl champion there. Um, Cleveland Browns, Denzel Ward there in their secondary. Denver Broncos, Alex Singleton. Houston Texans, Jalen Petrie. Indianapolis Colts, Kenny Moore the second. Jacksonville Jaguars, Eric Armstead. Kansas City Chiefs, Travis Kelce. Las Vegas Raiders, Max Crosby. The Chargers in Los Angeles, Cameron Dicker. Miami Dolphins, Alec Ingold. New England Patriots, Dietrich Wise Jr. The Pittsburgh Steelers, Larry Ogunjobi. And the Tennessee Titans, the big defensive lineman, one of my favorite linemen, Jeffrey Simmons, there on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, on the NFC side, we got Trey McBride for the Arizona Cardinals, Grady Jarrett for the Atlanta Falcons, Adam Thielen for the Carolina Panthers, Andrew Billings for the Chicago Bears, Zach Martin for the Dallas Cowboys, Jared Goff for the Detroit Lions, Kenny Clark for the Green Bay Packers, Kyron Williams for the LA Rams, CJ Ham for the Minnesota Vikings, Cameron Jordan for the New Orleans Saints, Darius Slayton for the New York Giants, Brandon Graham for the Philadelphia Eagles, Curtis Robinson for the San Francisco 49ers, Chinna Nwosu for the Seattle Seahawks, my guy Mike Evans for the Tampa Bay Bucks, Bobby Wagner for the Washington Commanders. Can't remember if you mentioned the Jets or not. Maybe you did,
Yeah, I
but
forgot
Solomon
them.
Thomas for the New York Jets too. Salute to everybody who stepped up in their community and got recognized for candidates for the awards. Hope my guy for the Commanders, Bobby Wagner, wins it though.
Yeah, sorry about that, Jets fans. And Solomon Thomas, yes, he was a nominee there for the Jets. I did accidentally skip over him. All right, let's go to our the remaining games for Week 14 on the schedule, Sunday and Monday night. Um, Jaguars at Titans, Jets at Dolphins, Saints at Giants, Panthers at Eagles, Browns at Steelers, Raiders at Bucks, Seattle at Arizona, Chicago at San Francisco, and it'll all end on Monday night with the Bengals and the Cowboys there in Arlington, Texas. Which of these games stand out to you, Ed?
Definitely going to be paying attention to the Seahawks Cardinals game, NFC West matchup. That division's definitely hot between Seahawks, Cardinals, and Rams. Niners are kind of falling off a little bit. Speaking of Niners, watching that Bears Niners game, first head coaching job for the new interim head coach. His name
Thomas
escapes me at
Brown.
the moment. Yeah, thank you, brother over there. So I'm wishing him some good luck.
Yep.
Hopefully, he can remain with the team as the head coach going to the next season. Kind of how like my guy from the Raiders did.
Yep. Antonio Pierce.
Yeah, as well. Let's see. Jets Dolphins, just to see how the Jet shit show continues to go and if the Dolphins can make any more noise or if their season's pretty much over. And Raiders Bucks, I'm looking at that one. Of course, the Browns Steelers, that's the one I was looking at too. You know, Browns beat the last time, beat the Steelers the last time, kind of upset. See how the Steelers will come back against them this time and see how that goes. And then Bengals and Cowboys. I hope the Bengals embarrass the Cowboys mightily. As in Jerry World, great. Monday Night Football, that's even better. I hope the Bengals stomp the hell out of them. What about you? Which games are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I'm not sure that you're going to get your wish there with the Bengals and the Cowboys. I'd like to see that too, even though I'm a AFC North fan, the Ravens, of course. But the Cowboys struggle against the run, and the Bengals have absolutely no run game. Um, Dallas can't run the ball either, so we'll see how this matchup ends. I honestly got the Cowboys winning their third game. I definitely will be trying to watch a little bit of that one. Raiders and Bucks. That's a rematch of Super Bowl 36. Hopefully, my guy, one of my favorite coaches, John Gruden, Chucky will be there. Browns and Steelers, man, you mentioned it. Another classic AFC North rivalry game. Cleveland won it just a few weeks ago there in snowy Pittsburgh. Kind of shocked everyone when they pulled that win out. So yeah, we'll see how part two goes in this one for sure. How will Tomlin and his guys respond there? Um, there at it's not called Heinz Field anymore, but I still consider it there the ketchup, the big ketchup bottle there in Pittsburgh, Western PA.
Got you. Let's get into our guaranteed picks of the week. I'm looking at that Panthers Eagles game. I mean, I feel like that's a pretty obvious one. The Eagles over the Panthers, but give me the Bucks over the Raiders for my guaranteed pick of the week. Brandon, who you got?
I like the 49ers against the Bears. I know both these teams, they're on a losing streak, and the Niners are really banged up right now. They're down their top two running backs, but it's the Bears they're playing against. Chicago has a new interim head coach. You mentioned him; he's a brother. I wish him all the success in the world. But his first game is on the road at one of the toughest places to play in the National Football League there in Santa Clara, California. San Francisco, they will start their fourth round rookie running back, Isaac Guerrero. The last time they started a running back we didn't know much about was Jordan Mason, and he ran all over the opponent in that one. I'm looking for a big game from this young man, and I think the 49ers will win this one very easily there against the Bears at home.
Yeah, I think Isaac Guerrero had some playing time against the Seahawks earlier this season too. If I remember correctly, he had a
Yeah.
big run as well, like 90 something yards. I know it was like a super big run, so I definitely won't be surprised if he comes out there and be like, "Who the hell is this guy?" Making a name for himself too.
Yep. All right, everyone, that's going to do it for this Week 14 preview episode of the B&E Podcast presented by Premium. Thanks to all of our followers. If you haven't already, follow us on social media. That's Podcast B&E on X, formerly known as Twitter, as well as B&E Podcast on Instagram. We definitely appreciate all the support. We will see you guys next week. Until next time, love one another.
Also, real quick before we go, there's a UFC fight this weekend, everyone. UFC 311. I think that's probably, even though it's not a really big card as far as name recognition, I think it might be one of the better cards of the year just because of the quality of fights that I see on paper. So I'll definitely be checking that out as well. But yeah, like Brandon said,
Gotcha.
peace, love, and we talk to y'all next time.